hear if you have any audio. Otherwise, I got to chalk it up to YouTube. Just kind of not YouTube not really working well today. But change mics, tested it out. It sounds like it's working. But if it's not, let me know and maybe I just take my ass to bed. Chat translation. So if anyone jumps in when you see this, let me know if you can hear anything. If you have any audio, with thumbs up if you have audio. If not, well, we worry about that later. Again, just waiting for someone to jump in. See if you can hear me. Otherwise, I can save I can save running my mouth. And just I'm gonna apologize for all the running around, trying to get these things up and running. But let's see if we can join the chat another way. Perfidious. Seven. Says this live, one watching. Can you hear me? Because we just tried to do this another time, and the audio was not on. And for the life of me,
first nonstick with no coating.
For the life of me, I couldn't understand why. So give me a thumbs up if you hear me. If not, I'm a bit of a loss. How I should fix this issue? Okay, you do hear me. Yeah. Yeah, before we didn't. We had a couple people in the chat. So let me remove that. And it just seems like today, YouTube is convinced it's not going to work with me. So we're trying to, for the fourth time, we're trying to get the stream done, right? And we've already done, okay. Right. Valentine's. All right. So we're going to start the poll again. So yeah, if you celebrated Valentine's Day, if you're new, like the chat, I appreciate that. Consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to grow. Every new subscription helps. Every new subscriber helps. It gets a lot of information out there. So listen, if you celebrated Valentine's, I'd love to hear about how it was, how it went. Was it what you expected? Or are you in the camp that it's a commercialized holiday and it sucks and we should abort the whole thing altogether? It seems that the internet is full of, maybe it's an internet thing, just full of people talking about how awful it was, how women didn't get what they were expecting. And one of the things I was kind of curious about was when we've gotten to the point where we talk about so much, BS about men online, how can we sort of expect them to buy into Valentine's when we're hearing all about how much we don't like men, don't need men, it's always men, it's not always man, but it's always a man. There's so many little slogans out there right now. How can you expect you to have a monumental, fantastic sort of Valentine's? And then there's the other bit of action. You saw so many posts about women saying they don't have a Valentine's, how they wish they did. Then other women saying, yo, if I had a Valentine's, I'd be upset because look what they're doing. People going out to Olive Garden, Applebee's, people just enjoying their life. They're doing their own thing. Um, a seven daily sins, I can see that. Um, but did you celebrate it, right? Or not? And sometimes it's part of you. You kind of buy into the commercialized thing. I definitely see Halloween being one of those. Um, Damn, let me move the poll. I thought it was just me that was looking at that. You can see that poll there. There's just not a lot of places they allow you to put the poll um, without ending it. All right, so we're gonna do that for now. We'll put the poll there. Yeah. So shout out to the moderators doing the thing. So some of the things you've seen when people are upset about Valentine's, but we're telling men to shut up. We don't want you. We don't want you around. What are men supposed to do? How are we supposed to feel romantic about it, but then also be reminded that it's embarrassing having a boyfriend? We need to have like sort of like clarity in some of the conversations that we're having online about whether or not we matter, whether or not you want us here, whether or not you want us around, whether or not there's appreciation for us. And probably the bigger thing that needs to be talked about is that a lot of the stuff online is bullshit, right? Let's call that out. A lot of it, Christmas is greed, Thanksgiving is gluttony. Those are, yeah, I can't, yeah, those are good. Those are good actually. Um, I can see the relation to that, 100%. But nah, I can't dispute that. It's easy to make those correlations. The problem, like I'm saying, when most of us, we don't really, our lives don't really mimic what's happening online. Our lives don't really mimic that. I think for the most part, people live joined lives. They're not talking about 50-50. People are doing the best they can together to make things happen. Um, if you're talking about, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we see so much of that language that's going back and forth that it becomes difficult for people to imagine, like, why should you participate in any of this? What's the point in doing a Valentine's and being part of this if we're just kind of being taught like, yo, you don't want us? Why are you upset that you're not? I mean, I saw people throwing out gifts, right? Like making a spectacle to throw stuff away to make it seem like, oh my God, this is so terrible, it's so awful that I'm just gonna do all. No, like at some point in time, we have to realize we got to be accountable for the actions and stuff that we're out here doing. If you're pushing it, if you're making it seem like we're not necessary, eventually men are just going to say, like they've constantly sort of been doing, just kind of like putting their hands up and saying, yo, I'm good where I'm at, right? I'm good where I'm at. If you're just new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button on your way in, just so we can invigorate the algorithm, grow the channel. Right, that's sort of what we're trying to do with every live stream, every post, everything. And yeah, and drop in and talk about what you did for Valentine's if you participated in it, or if you're just like a lot of people saying, I'm gonna show my love and my appreciation some other way. That's my thing, right? That could be your thing, right? Um, yeah, is it commercialized? Yeah, is it probably the first time I saw it laid akin to the Seven Daily Sins. Um, channel's about, we talk about relationship stuff, we talk about money, we talk about current events, we try to have a nuanced conversation. We try not to make it seem like as if one side is bad, one side is terrible. We try to, and sometimes we try to joke. We do lives, a weekly live show where we talk about different topics, and again, we try to make it a community, make it where there's actual back and forth, there's actual dialogue happening, rather than someone simply yelling and telling you how you should think and feel. Sometimes I want you to use your own noggin, think about stuff for yourself and see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Where we want to have a place where we're sharpened by the exchange rather than just expecting you to fall in. That's the hope, right? There's a lot of there's a lot of garbage online. There's a lot of lot of like different camps people can fall in and believe in those things wholeheartedly. We just want to make sure whatever camp you're in, you should be able to call out bad behavior when you see it. Hey, you know what? You said this about this. I didn't agree, but this I like. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. If you don't agree with something I gotta say, that's fine. I want to be wrong on things. I think like the scientific method. Also, we like math over here. We like comics and jokes and oddities like that. So yeah, so that's how we like to do things. So sometimes, yeah, it's about the dialogue. Once we stop having those conversations, we start yelling, then we all kind of just fall apart. We kind of lose the game. It's not how we should be. We should actually want to have conversations. I'm a fan of that. So even if you don't agree with Valentine's, yeah, cool. But it happened, right? There's gonna be plenty of stuff that's happening that we don't agree with, but it happened, and we should be able to talk about opinion and stuff. One of the things I from starting this channel last June, you can see how much we talk about misogyny online all the time, but we never really address misandry. When you get to openly say how much you don't like men, or you just flat out saying, "Yo, I hate men." Um, oh yeah, Godfrey, my Nigerian brother Godfrey is hilarious, hilarious. That part where a woman was saying like, "Yo, why don't men court women anymore?" And he was like, "Because they don't want to go to court." I was like, "Oh man, that's good." I said, "That's good. That's good." And it went right over her head. Went right over her head. He's sitting there just clever. We like wit. We like witty people. Godfrey's got and the little impressions Godfrey does, those are fantastic. He's got like this little series. I forgot the Italian comics name that he does it with, and just to flat out. I had tickets to go see him one time, but life and circumstances got in the way. But if he's ever in town, I'm in town at the same time. I'd like to go check him out. But so you see a lot of like misandry online where people are very comfortable talking, negatively about men as if men don't see this and just say, "Cool, you don't really f with us, so we can just." Oh yeah, Jamie Foxx Trump impression is great. Um, Shane Gillis does a wonderful Trump impression. But I'm saying, so when you see all this misandry online, when you see all this hate for men, and I mean flat out, where you're just saying hate, right? They're saying hateful things. They're telling men, f off, all this. You see a lot of that. So eventually, at some point in time, you got to realize that men are just going to check out. So what happens? They're not buying your drinks. They're not going out. They're not asking you on dates. They're not doing any of this stuff that you wish men would do, and that obviously culminates and translates to Valentine's Day, where you're out with your girls and you're doing the Galentine's. Cool, do it up. Love it for you guys. Love it. Absolutely stunning. Love it. Enjoy yourselves. But yeah, when men just kind of just don't want to participate, that's what happens. They kind of just drop out and say, "We're gonna do our own thing over here." And I don't mean like the Malentines or the Manentines. No, it just becomes another day. It just becomes another day. And let me go to work. Let me do this. It just becomes another day. You kind of like beat the romanticism out of it by being upset with men 364 days in a year. The other day would be your birthday, right? Where it's like, okay, maybe this is when we get down to, and this is the crux of the whole thing, when you get down to it just being transactional, eventually you realize you need two people to transact, right? You need a buyer and a seller. And at some point in time, with one of those drop out the race, drop out the exchange, drop out the transaction, you don't. The whole thing sort of grinds to a halt. What are you supposed to do at that point? What do we don't really have an answer. We don't have a clue. We just pretend like you're still supposed to show up, participate. You're still supposed to show up and be happy that women are around. It's one of the greatest lies that we've got going right now. Where, and it I don't know when it'll translate, when people realize, yeah, that doesn't work. You just can't tell men fuck off and then get mad when they fucked off, right? That's where we're, and you're only going to see it in these times when you expect men to step up romantically, when you expect men to sort of fall in, and you don't see that. When you expect this sort of community to happen at one time and then it doesn't, then you're like, yo, what's going on? Where the men at? Um, then you kind of lost. You don't understand it. Where no, you get it now when you start seeing the what do we do now? The little events where the speed dating, the dating events, the clubs, the run clubs. The run clubs are an excuse, uh, excuse for people just kind of get together, be in the same vicinity. What happens? The men still aren't showing up. And you're like, yo, where are the men? What's going on? Why they're not here? Bop, 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 bop. Hopefully you can hear me now on this one. Again, this is the fourth stream that we tried with this. Hopefully this one actually, YouTube will allow for at least a little bit. Um, and yeah, we're just talking about Valentine's Day and sort of the aftermath when a lot of people, I don't think it's an eye-opening thing. It's just a little blip where people get to say, yo, what happened? Why aren't the men participating? The men have been falling out of participation for quite a while now, in not just Valentine's Day, but also just in these small little outings where men go out to when they go out. Sometimes, yeah, you're just gonna go out. Like when I go out, with my guys, we really just go out. Right? Oh, we should try this place. We should try this place. I've got a laundry list of places I want to try, but when you go out there, you see little pockets, you see groups. I think it was the day after Valentine's. I think we saw two tables full of women, and it's just three of us, me, my two friends at the bar. None of us were like, "Oh, let's go holler." We're just like, "Oh, okay, cool." Let them enjoy themselves. That has become like the default sort of refrain in our head. Let them enjoy themselves because we heard that so many times. We heard that so many times, right? Let them enjoy themselves. Let them enjoy themselves. Let them enjoy themselves. Okay, cool, right? Please enjoy. But how many of those are we gonna hear? You would hear stories later on about, nah, these guys, they're not putting pressure. Part of the other thing is, right, and we want to be fair about this. Sometimes you don't want to put any pressure, right? Sometimes as men, you're like, yo, I'm fine right now in my life. I don't have the wherewithal, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just kind of want to get my work done. Like the amount of effort it takes to like I'm putting into this YouTube, not just like putting out slop. Just I want to change what the algorithm is. The algorithm says you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Okay, I want to do that more. Let's create more live streams. Let's try to get good at that. And part of that is doing research. You see, I mean, the amount some people I've seen on live stream, they're sleeping. They're sleeping. And there are like 300 people in the live stream. And if I get 4 or 5, I'm excited because I know there's a difference in how many subscribers, how many channels, but still, I understand as part of the process, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of bandwidth. That takes a lot of work. And sometimes when you see someone, even if you see someone that's beautiful, it's like, I don't have it. I don't have it. On the other side, that could be misconstrued as something different. Like, yo, I was out here looking good and he didn't talk to me. Part of the problem is because we have this expectation because what we understand with men, you're just supposed to want to fuck. You're supposed to want to do this. So when you don't, what happens? Oh, he's got to be gay. No, he's just not interested in you. Like, can we allow like room for that? He's just not interested in you. And maybe not just you. Maybe right now is just not a time. He's just not interested. Maybe he's good. He's good. He's full up. Right. He's fine. Doesn't need any of this. Doesn't need any trouble. He just wants to chill. We have to allow some more leeway for these things to happen, some more for actual men to have the ability to say, yo, I'm straight, I'm good. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. I'm gonna do me over here. Good luck for you. Good luck to you. Good luck with everything else you got going on. For like when you're I'm just speaking from personal experience. I'm trying to build this channel up. It's a lot of work because the pace of sort of committed to just showing that sort of sort of grind, that sort of discipline, it takes a lot of work. So I get why men are just saying, if you we talk about like a trailing effect a lot of times. I talk about like that a lot of times on my videos, where you have the cause and then you have effect and you have a trailing effect, or sometimes just a cause and a trailing effect. When you told men to leave you alone in various reasons, right? We're not taking away from any of those. We're not saying that you were wrong for saying that these men can be dangerous. I agree. But when you make the blanket statements for men, you're always going to have those men that understand what you're saying. They're always going to say, "Cool, I hear you. I'm going to step back. I'm gonna let that rock. I'm gonna go back over here somewhere. You could do your thing." That's what we have. The men that were always going to be pigs and devils and all that, they don't care. They were always going to sit there holler, right? That old Chappelle thing, kind of holla, kind of holla, kind of holla, right? They're always going to do that. So they're there now hollering, right? They're there now in your face, right? They're there now bothering you. Those other men that you told, piss off, yeah, they're doing something else. Or they found people that said, yeah, they're saying that I still want your attention. And to be fair, to be frank, to be even, you're still seeing. I'm seeing a lot more women coming on. I said, I don't know what all this nonsense is about. I want a man. I love my man. But. That content needs to be pushed, right? That needs to be what's out front and center. That needs to be like, yo, this is the thing. For the most part, this is what happened. Rather than we see women telling other women to get rid of that man because he didn't wash the dishes the right way, he didn't put the bowls away the right way. It shouldn't be any wonder, any surprise why men are just like, yo, man, I'm really cool on this, I'm really good on this, right? I'm really good on this. If that's how you want to move, that's how you want things to happen, please just let me rock over here, right? That's not such a far-fetched thing, you know So, but look, you know, again, we're trying to grow the channel. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Just let the algorithm know, hey, this channel actually is doing something, right? I should probably give it a little more love. I shouldn't be as harsh to it as I tend to be. Um, right now, it's looking like every Wednesday, maybe at 7, we do the bigger live stream show. That could change. We could move around and see what's more palatable um, for YouTube and for audiences. I tend to think most people on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays are just like out doing their thing. So I like to think something like midweek is good, but we're gonna let data decide, right? We're gonna let data decide, and I could probably be better about putting a lot of this notice out. But sometimes you put stuff out, right? And this is the conundrum with YouTube. You put stuff out that doesn't mean that it gets a commensurate level of interest. And unless you guys, hit that like button, engage with the content, YouTube and I don't know what you kind of, effing with. So it's hard to say, let me give you more of what you want when I can't either catch you on the right time, because we all have different lives and we all have different things that happens. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I might do that on the on the post. Yeah, yeah, I'll try that. That's a very good idea. Gerard, you're full of great ideas. Couldn't manage this page without you. So yeah, I'll try that and see what's a good day. But then there's the other aspect of trying to now catch other people, right? Or maybe we should just the idea of the live show should be strictly for the subscribers. That's probably the idea, and then everything else can be kind of geared towards stuff going sort of out and pulling people in. That might be the idea. Maybe like a subscribe. Yeah, yeah, I like that idea. Maybe see what people would like to see, what people like to be covered. That way it could feel more intentional, more feel like that's a good idea. Someone write that down. I really should also work on some merch because I like some of these ideas. I could see them like on a hoodie. Um, the other someone also on another video that we did something I said latitude without the attitude. And it's like, that's good. I said, yeah, I should write that one down too. But yeah. So yeah, look out for that. Merch on merch on the way. if anyone's really good at designs and logo designs, let me know. Because I officially know I've got too much on my plate, going on my plate, where it's like trying to pull and do this, and this, and this. Um, and resting needs to be probably at the top of the list of what things I got to do. So yeah, but I'll try to do a live tomorrow, earlier, more like this. Hopefully, again, YouTube is with it, and we'll see if we can pull more people in. But again, if you're new here, right, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel, and these lives are a great way for real interaction. And I get it. Sometimes it's difficult knowing this is where we is where we are on things. Um, Soliciting done for fun. Yeah. And besides that, I really do enjoy doing the live broadcast show, especially when I can find things that are hilarious and silly. If you missed that, the replay should be up tomorrow. Um, Usually it needs like maybe 12 hours to process, but go and check that out. We had some good segments, some good laughs. Lot of nonsense out there, a lot of stuff that's at least good for laughs. We touched on the Larry wheels. I got a video for that tomorrow that goes live at 12. Check that one out. The short will be up at 10:30. Again, 2 videos a day, two shorts, at least two shorts a day, and then at least one live a week. We'll try to do more than that, because again, this is I think the greatest way to find new potential subscribers and bring people over to the not to the dark side, to the side of sort of nuance and trepidation. But again, for those of you that did make it, I do make the lives. I really do appreciate you guys. For anyone that new, again, subscribe, um, like the commentary, like the live, and if you're new, you want to talk about your Valentine's, you got something to say about it. If you participated in it, or if you witnessed how the things kind of went left, um, for you in your own eyes, again, I'd love to hear a lot of those stories. But for now, I'll see you guys on the next one.